Welcome to the seminar on safety engineering. I'm Engineer Julie Antiquis. We're from STA College Lipa, and here is Mr. Jeffrey Mercado.
Good morning. Good morning.
Mr. Mercado, can you give them their handouts? We're going to tackle about the different safety acts. Yes?
Thank you.
Yes?
I'm Mr. Cristal.
Okay, you may take your seat.
Okay.
We're going to tackle about the different safety acts and practices which is very essential to our daily life. And to start, let us take a look at a short clip of registration.
This from using his mobile phone. Time has caught up, the evidence is changing. Our leading expert blows the whistle on the mobile phone companies and the dangers. We have nearly 22 million mobile phones in Australia, and at midnight, a landmark. The CDMA signal will be turned off, and in the morning, only digital signals will work. Some have decided not to use a phone at all. That might be smart. The World Health Organization, so concerned about the potential safety risks of mobile phones, it commissioned a 13-country survey years ago. We've done our own tests. Laura Sparks has the results.
Quite often the radiation at the body is higher than what you would experience at the head.
The results worrying even the government experts.
I think it's concerning that under any circumstances testing would show that a phone does not meet the standard.
Professor Bruce Armstrong is Sydney University's Professor of Public Health. He's devoted more than 10 years of his life researching the link between mobile phones and brain tumours. He's always sat on the fence. That's until now.
I think people might be shocked to hear that the evidence does seem to be coming more strongly in support of harmful effects.
So what sort of harm are you talking about?
Well, by harmful I mean production of brain tumours, acoustic nerve tumours, possibly parotid gland tumours, because some of those tumours are certainly fatal.
So why are we only starting to hear about this now? Mobile phones have been here for 20 years. Today we're at saturation point. There's 20 million mobile phones here. That's enough for every Australian to own one. But as time passes, scientists are able to look at the longer term side effects. We're now starting to hear about 10-year studies, and the results are worrying.
What was found there was evidence of a twofold increase in risk of tumours.
We've been encouraged to use a hand-free kit with our mobile phones for years to ward off potentially dangerous radiation. Now, with the advent of the Bluetooth, it's commonplace for phones to stay firmly in our pockets, far away from the brain, but close to other important organs. So how safe is this to have a phone transmitting from your chest or trouser pocket?
It's not always made clear that when you use a phone in your pocket, for example, that the radiation levels are much higher than they ought to be.
Chris Zombolis is the Director of EMC Technology, the only independent lab in Australia that measures the safety of electromagnetic radiation coming out of mobile phones. He claims most phones pass our regulations when transmitting against our head, but questions the safety of them when emitting in your pocket.
The antenna is usually at the back of the phone, so when it's used at the head, most of the energy is transmitted away from the phone towards the base station. However, if it's used in the pocket, say with a Bluetooth hands-free adapter, the antenna ends up closest to the body and most of the energy is absorbed by the body rather than going to the mobile phone tower.
To investigate, Today Tonight bought 4 mobile phones. A cheap basic phone, the Sagem Vodafone 226, and then 3 expensive multi-band 3G phones. The Sony Ericsson W910i, the Telstra HTC Touch Dual 850, and Nokia E65. EMC Technologies used this $1 million robot to test the electromagnetic radiation coming out of the phones in the body-worn position, like a trouser or chest pocket, when the back of the phone is facing the body. Chris, tell me about this liquid here.
This liquid represents the electrical properties of the human body. The phone is placed underneath in contact with the phantom, which simulates the body-worn position or in the pocket position. The radiation comes up and it's measured with this probe.
The results were astonishing. On the 1800 megahertz frequency band, 3 of the 4 phones failed the legal safety limits of 2 watts per kilogram of body tissue. The Nokia tested 3.35, a result 1.5 times above the standard. The Telstra HTC measured 2.46, and the Sony Ericsson was at 2.16. At the 2100 megahertz frequency band, 2 phones didn't pass. The Nokia measured 5.84, almost 3 times greater than the safety limit, while the Telstra HTC also failed at 2.92. The only phone that came out under the safety limits was the cheap Vodafone.
These safety standards have been set by world experts, and in the wrong. When you use a phone in a pocket, the safety limit will be often exceeded.
Our results wouldn't surprise Chris Newman. 7 years ago, he sued mobile manufacturer Motorola, convinced his brain tumour was caused by his mobile phone. A neurologist himself, Dr. Newman eventually lost the case due to lack of evidence. He has since died of the cancer.
I had a choice. I would have never used a cell phone. Just because with even the potential risk, it's just not worth it. It's not worth going through the hell.
The Australian Communications and Media Authority says it's an offence to sell a phone which doesn't comply with safety standards for electromagnetic radiation, and suppliers can be prosecuted.
Okay, after registration, we will be now discussing about electricity and radiation. I want you to share some of your experiences on electricity and fire. Who would like to share their experience? Yes, Mr. Cristobal?
Gusto ko lang pong i-share yung mga nangyari sa akin ng mga nakaraan sa fire and electricity. Ito pong nangyari.
Ang lalak mo agad ay.
Araw-araw ito dito. Dapat inayos dito.